Woohoo! It must be 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Or is it Wednesday? I don't know. Hey, it's Paul Vato, and welcome. If you are joining us on one of our streaming channels, it's Wednesday. Of course it is. Sorry, folks. People are like, wait, what day is it? Today, my special guest is Alex Cooper. So I'm just waiting for him to arrive. And then we can get started. I'm bringing it in. Let me send him a little invite. For those of you that don't know what the heck is Paul talking about, we are live on Fireside. So let me see. Broadcast. There was followers. Let's see if I can find Alex Cooper here. And send him a little invite. Of course, all this gets cut out of the final podcast. Alex is here. Alex, you're going to hear a little bit of music. I'm going to invite you up to stage, and then we can get going. So just sit tight as we just wait for a few people to get into the audience. I'll be inviting you up shortly. So sit tight, buddy. Let me do this, a little maintenance. Invite to video. I will also, of course, be going on video, and I will turn off the music shortly. I know it's hard to hear right now. Let's see. Alex Cooper in the house. I sent you an invite. Welcome, folks. Welcome. We're just getting Alex onto the stage. And let me update this. Super Comedy is your website. I'm going to add that. Okay, I'm going to go over to Instagram and see if you're trying to message me. Okay. Did you get my video invite? And no worries, these shows are very flexible because they're being recorded. So, invite to video. Edit the fortune cookie. Super Comedy. Hey, Alex, can you hear me? I'm sending you a video invite. Is it working? Yay, it worked. Now let me invite you to video.
Okay, where are you inviting me?
Hang on, let me turn off the music. Are you getting the video invite?
No. Oh, wait, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yep. Hello.
Hello, my friend. How are you, Alex?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing well. It's a little early for me because I'm in Las Vegas, but other than that, it is perfect.
Well, I'm in Los Angeles, so technically it's even earlier for me than you by like 2 minutes. So
Wow, you know what? I never even thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute, it's the same time, but you are 100% right. I love the way a comedian's mind thinks, and you're exact. But you're exact. Maybe you're more of a scientist than a comedian. I don't know.
yeah, please don't put that on me. Although I do like guessing things and then being completely wrong and just saying, "Hey, I didn't know any better." So
But see, if you say it with conviction, then I think then you know people will believe you. I think. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced that. Maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Let me send out some invites. Broadcast to the world. Yay! Oh my God! Look at that background. Look at everything.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Oh, pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, and we can talk about. We haven't started yet. I mean, you know, we have started in that it's live, it's simulcast on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and then it's
Okay.
recorded here. So we might have people popping in and out. There are other shows going on right now as well. So who knows? But the nice thing is, if you don't mind, let me tell you just a little bit about Fireside. Let me tell you a little bit about Amway. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. Am I at a pitch meeting right now? How
You're
many
in a pitch
condos do I
meeting.
need to buy to
No,
get out
no.
of this?
So no, but it's a great platform to you know to kind of do this because then it lives here on the platform, and then you can always. What I do is then I'll just download it and re-upload it to Anchor or any, especially now Anchor they have video podcasting. So I think they're going
Hmm.
to push video podcasts. So again, thank you so much, my friend, for being here. Thank you for doing this and all that good stuff.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, so yeah, let me just do the applause emoji, and then people in the audience can do the same thing. So everyone, welcome. My name is Paul Vato, and today my guest on Paul Vato Presents is Alex Hooper, a comedian, an actor, a professional roaster, and a slackliner. Is that fair to say?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I wear many hats, you know. I'm a pug dad, I'm an author, I'm a calendar maker, I'm a festival socialite. I just gallivant around the world, spreading joy however I can.
I love that. And you actually have something called the Daily Lollipop, do you not? Is
Hmm.
you do it on a daily basis, or do I sometimes just miss some?
It's pretty much daily. Like sometimes I give myself breaks. Like if I'm on vacation or something like that, I don't force myself to post anything. But for the most part, yeah, every single day, it's like a 15 to 45-second little inspirational nugget of wisdom, knowledge, advice, inspirational thoughts with a lot of silliness and weirdness mixed into it as well. It's just a good little, a nice little reminder to have a great day.
Well, that's wonderful. Have you done today's Daily Lollipop? And if not, would you mind sharing with us, or maybe even
I
this?
posted it a few minutes ago. They're on my Instagram at Hooper Hairpuff. That's where they live. Today was actually a special guest one. Sometimes when I'm around a friend, they want to film one. I do one for them, and I believe it was my friend sitting in a lake saying, "If you can drown in 2 inches of water, then you can pee in 2 inches of water." And then he just let it go, and that's your daily lollipop, everybody. So sometimes they're like that. Sometimes they actually are really good pieces of advice, and other times they're just random wackiness that just inspires me throughout the day.
Amazing. That's wonderful. Uh, Unfortunately, with this Daily Lollipop, I did have an uncle who died in 2 inches of water because a
Oh
car
no,
rolled on top of him. So thanks for that, Alex. But no, I
I'm
never
just
met
here
the
to bring
man.
up terrible things from your past, Paul. So, well, let's talk about when your dad hit you and you didn't think it was right. Hey, whatever we can get into right now.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Uh, thank you. Yeah, he always did. You know, he was, I guess, not your. God, this is going to sound so racist, probably, but he wasn't your typical Mexican man. He always just threatened to hit us with a belt, but that was enough to keep us on the straight and narrow. If we were going to bring up my father, who also passed. Uh, but
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
was
Okay, now I'm sorry to hear that, and I feel bad for bringing it up. And I hope you had a wonderful relationship, and that's your daily lollipop.
oh man, thank you. A personal one. I love it, Alex. I love it. So let's talk about a little bit about you and maybe your relationship with your parents. And is this where your comedy maybe comes from? Were you influenced? Where did you grow up, and what was that childhood influence like that brought you to where you are now and this great comedic mind of yours and
Yeah.
need to
Well,
entertain?
I grew up in Baltimore. I'm one of three kids, really. My parents got divorced super early on. My parents are endlessly funny, but in completely different ways. My dad is sarcastic and dry and quiet and really limits his words. My mom is animated and loud and boisterous. And again, you combine the two of them and you get pretty much exactly me. Great relationship with them still. They are endlessly supportive of my career. I had a really rough childhood, just as far as like myself, my depression, anger, and things like that went. So they're just happy to see me doing anything that I enjoy. And luckily, the comedy life is working pretty well so far. So yeah, I'm fortunate to still have both of them in my life.
That is, yeah, of course, that is very fortunate. That's wonderful, and you maintain a relationship with them to this day. Then you speak with them.
Yeah, I mean, I got married last month, and luckily,
Congratulations! Yes, you
thank
did.
you so much. It was a wonderful celebration down in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and we, my dad didn't think he was going to be able to go because he's almost 80. He's just older. He's on dialysis, and he was really intimidated by the travel.
Sure.
But my sister is a nurse, and she really helped him out, and to have them both there along with so many other like friends and family, it was a very special feeling that I got it in there because he was like, Alex, why didn't you do this 10 years ago when I was younger? You know,
You're like because she wasn't around, or was she? How long have you known this couple?
she actually was around. We've been together like 15 years, but I was in no place to actually like make it official. I was still very much figuring myself out, let alone including another person into it.
Well, that's wonderful, my friend, and I'm glad that all in due time, and it's going to work out wonderfully. And you guys looked so happy, and I was so jealous. I was like, not jealous. I was very happy and proud for of you and
I
for you.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was a
man. It
beautiful
was
ceremony, and I felt very fortunate to have so many amazing people there for it. And I mean, if you can get, we got 60 people to go to a destination wedding. That's pretty special, and that definitely would not have happened if we had gotten married 8 or 10 years ago.
no, of course, and that is a big ask. I think there's a whole Curb Your Enthusiasm episode or series of shows about destination weddings. But I mean, Puerto Vallarta, it's so easy for us on the West Coast to get there. So I'm
Oh
sure it
yeah.
was amazing, the resort. And do people recognize you? Because you've gotten so much notoriety. And I guess maybe that's a silly question of being like recognized in Mexico. But
No, I do though. I did get recognized in Mexico a few times, randomly by like people at the hotel, and
Mhm.
it's really funny because like they always mean the best, but sometimes people will know me and they just assume that other people know me. So I had this woman like talking to me, and then she came back. She's like, "Oh my God, I know where I know you from. America's Got Talent. You're that comedian." I was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Hang on, I gotta get my family. They're gonna love meeting you." She
Okay.
runs over, gets her entire family. None of them know who I am. Not a single person. So I'm just standing there, and she's like, "You don't know who this is?" And I'm like, "Miss, this is embarrassing for both of us at this point." But thank you for the attention, but also like I'm on vacation. I don't need to meet your family.
Especially when they have no idea who I am. I mean that.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that's that. You know what? That's so. Of course, and then I'm sure later on they'll be the first ones to go after they see your performance and start following you. They'll be like, oh, and we met him in Mexico and we chatted with him and we had this great time. So
Oh,
I'm
of course,
yeah,
yeah. Which,
of course, of
hey,
course.
that's how it all starts. I'm always glad when somebody recognizes me out there on the street, as long as they're cool about it, which most people are. So yeah, it was bizarre to be in Mexico and still having that happen, though.
Amazing, amazing. That's wonderful, and it just speaks to the power of both social media, because maybe she didn't even see it when it first aired, but it pops up in my feed every now and then, and it's brilliant. Do you want to talk a little bit about AGT and
I
maybe
can.
process how you got on there, and then like did they know what they must know what you're going to do, maybe, but maybe the judges don't, and I don't
Correct.
know.
Yeah. So I was basically scouted with a bunch of other comedians to go to do a roast for the judges, and I just showed them a way that I wanted to do it that I thought would be silly and not so mean spirited. And so the producers know exactly what I'm going to do. You can't. You have to get every joke approved, every outfit choice, every single little movement you're going to do has to be approved in advance. The judges do not know what is coming through. They just know Alex Hooper comedy. Okay. Okay, what's this guy gonna do? Tell some jokes. They didn't know that I was about to light them on fire and pour gasoline in that theater.
And it's brilliant because it's taking these people down a notch, I think, and maybe we can talk about this. I mean, maybe that's the basis of roasting, but a lot of times we do it to ourselves and we're friends, and you know what you're getting into, but they don't know what they're getting into, and God forbid anybody would do that to them, because they hold the power to advance you or do all that. And it was great to see Simon actually laugh, because it was hilarious, even what you said about him. So for those of you who haven't seen it, would you mind just maybe sharing just a little bit of that, or is that asking too much to, you
No,
know?
I mean I can do it. And I mean what I'll say before I tell, like, I mean, a good roast is not defamatory. It's celebratory. And I am celebrating these people by thinking about them and, picking out some choice flaws or character attributes, whatever it may be, but I am celebrating them, which is why, like, when I say a joke like, Heidi Klum, you're magical, 4 children, yet your body looks as though you haven't paid attention. That people got mad at me for that all over the internet. They're like, you can't make fun of a way a mother parents her children. And I'm like, that's not what that joke is about. Like, it starts with you are magical. Like, that's what you want a roast to be. You want to lift them up before you tear them down, because we're poking fun at ourselves and the things around us. And if you can't laugh at yourself, what are you doing? Especially if you're a famous billionaire. Like, if anyone needs to be able to laugh at themselves, it is the people that have been pampered their entire lives. They have everything handed to them on a plate. They've figured it out. Take a joke.
Yes, yeah, amazing. And I love what you said. It's not how do you say that? It's not
Defamatory? Yeah.
defamatory, but rather celebratory. And that is brilliant. That is so wonderful. Because I've never thought of it that way. And I knew that it wasn't defamatory, but I didn't realize how celebratory it was, because, yes, you've taken the time to think of me and then figure something out that you can make fun of me. Or maybe in Comedy Central roast, and I'd like to find out about that. I wouldn't doubt also that you've helped another person write something about you. Maybe, I don't know if this is
Sure.
true, or if it works that way. But you're right. You're thinking of me, and you're taking the time to put my name in your mouth. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. When you watch those Comedy Central roasts and they go all the way back to the Friars Club and stuff like that, you didn't do that because you disliked the person. You did it because you were celebrating their achievements or their life as a whole. And you do that by in our comedic way of doing that is to insult. And it doesn't come from a place of malice. It comes from a place of respect and reverence. And when I do have to think about, I mean, I spent so much time researching Tyra Banks, and I don't want to do that with my time. That's not what I want. I don't want to be watching clips of Tyra in the middle of her daytime talk show. I want to go out and play tennis or something like that. But I'm thinking about you enough to say, hey, I see you, and now let me make a joke about it. And if they can't they couldn't take it. That's why that clip did so well, and that's why it kind of like really helped propel me into a different stratosphere.
And by stratosphere, you mean stratosphere, because with what, over 75, and I'm sure more now.
Yeah, it's like over 100 million views on that
100
one
million.
clip alone. Yeah,
Amazing.
just on that one clip. And then I was on there 2 other performances that are horrendously underviewed just because it was the COVID season and it just wasn't that interesting, even though I'm super proud of those performances. they just weren't seen by that many people outside of the actual show. I mean, when I say that, it's like they were only seen by a few million people. That's all. Like, but comparatively, like way less than the first one.
Sure, of course, and then it's like this dopamine rush when you're like, oh, this video has over 100 million. How come this one only has 2 million? Like that's ridiculous. And then other people are like, wait, how'd you even get 2 million on one video? I mean, I have one that went viral, and it's starting 15 years ago, and it was a commercial, but people didn't know that. It's where I photocopy my butt and I fall into the copier. So commercial. That's me. It's a commercial for Netscape Navigator, and people, that's why nothing you could say would hurt me if you're being mean, because the people have already said all these horrible things like, oh, look at these fat Americans, all they do is eat donuts and they're so dumb they photocopy their butt and fall into copiers, and I'm sure much more horrible things that I've forgotten about. But it's and I didn't even realize the importance of it back then. But every few years it pops up again, and it's probably been, I'm sure it has well over 10, I know on one video alone, on a compilation video, has over 11 million views. And then who knows, because even my cousins in Mexico called me. I almost said, I wish I could get recognized in Mexico. They actually called me because it was on television, and they're like, is this you? I'm like, yeah. So it's been all over, terrestrial video at the TV, and as well as, streaming. So I get that. And did you put this up on your channel, or is it like on AGT's channel?
No, AGT owns all of it. They get all the money, they get all the followers and all that other stuff. Some people actually do take the time to look up who was that guy, but for the most part, they, I'm not complaining about it, but my view count and my SEO does not meet my social media numbers that I feel I could have had I capitalized on that more. I just didn't know what was going to happen from any of that. And so the second time I was very prepared for it, but then they just got a lot less views. So it's just like, we're just all just drifting through this life trying to figure out how the heck we get people to pay attention to us so we can earn a living and make people laugh. And so far so good, but I just keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. Now, and your YouTube channel, is it Hooper Comedy, or is it, what's your YouTube, so that people?
Yeah, I think it's Alex Hooper Comedy. I think.
Okay. That's right. If they go to Alex, if they go to hoopercomedy.com, I believe that's where it's all your social media
everything's on there.
Everything's on. And folks, if you're just joining us, my guest today is Alex Hooper, and I've put his website in the fortune cookie there, right underneath our faces. Give it a click, and of course, give him a follow. And not now when the show's done, but go and watch his roasts of the AGT judges, and it was like jaw dropping, because when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, because you look familiar, but I wasn't exactly sure who you were. And then I watch it, and I think like any other comedian, you just start cracking up because the audience turns on you and they're booing, and you're calling them peasants. You're like, this is exactly like what you probably don't do as an entertainer. I go, but it's brilliant, and they obviously know. Like you said, the producers know what's going to happen, but the audience doesn't, and they love you at first, and then you make them turn, and that's such a beautiful thing to watch happen. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, I mean that was a turning point for me as a performer. Like that was literally like surviving that moment and realizing that I could overcome it, that I could actually use it to make me a more resilient human being. That was really a catalyst for me to go, okay, I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm just, you can't hurt me. Industry, powers that be, other comedians, whatever it may be, whoever's trying to drag me down, it's not going to work. I'm sorry. I am living on cloud nine. I have an awesome life that I have spent years building, and I just want to keep figuring out other ways to be funny.
Amazing. I had Bobby Lee tell me once, he was like, well, you haven't lived, and I'm not saying that you bombed because this was by intention.
I bombed. That's okay.
Bobby said, you ain't lived till you've bombed on stage, and then you realize that, hey, then tomorrow everyone's maybe even forgotten about it, and you go out there and you do it again. But you bombed by intention. I mean, you must have known that that's what was going to happen.
Yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
you don't think you're gonna bomb. You think you're gonna win them over and it's gonna go well. I did. I just thought I thought like Howie Mandel's a comedian. I'll start with him. He'll get it, and then the other judge will be like, "Oh, okay, this is like a thing that happens. Fine." Then the audience, whatever the judges are doing, the audience is pretty much doing too. So I just thought I could win them over, and then I didn't, and chaos ensued, and I walked out with my tail between my legs, quite literally.
Because you wear a tail on. Is it all the time, or was it just for this
No,
performance?
just no. My roasting stuff is like it's like doing a character. Like me on stage doing stand up is very much me, a hyperbolized version of me, but you're getting who Alex Hooper is. My roasting is very much done in this flamboyant, arrogant, like completely unfallible, like beast, whatever it may be. So it's really me putting on these outfits, is me kind of like suiting up in armor and going like, all right, let's go to battle. You can't hurt me. How bad can I hurt you?
Amazing. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, through love though. Through love. I'm not actually trying to hurt anybody. It's all in fun.
And you've written a book. I mean, people can buy a book about, is it how to roast people, but it's also a few other.
So my book,
Do you happen to have it? Oh, and there it is.
Look at that, everybody. Roast yourself to happiness. A comedian's guide to, what is it? To finding joy by embracing your flaws. So what that is it is a 28-day self-help workbook where I teach you how to write roast jokes about yourself so you can take away the judgment from other people that we all feel. Everyone has things that they hate about themselves, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I feel if we can own the parts of us that we hate, that we dislike the most, then we can become stronger people. Because that's literally what happened to me through roasting. And so I just thought, okay, let me take my love of people and inspiring people and trying to help them discover their ultimate self, and my love of joke writing, roasting, comedy, combine them and make a self-help book like nobody ever has. Nobody else is telling you to, write the meanest thing possible about yourself. At least not most of the self-help books that I've read. Maybe a couple here and there.
No. Of course, it's quite the opposite. Everyone's like, "Well, what's the best thing about you? And so I love the road that you've taken, and it works because you're right. We find out what's the worst thing about us, and then either work on that or change it, or I don't know, thrive with it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, the people that I've gotten a lot of nice messages about the book, that it really has helped people. It's just about getting over your own self embarrassment. People are like, oh, I have wrinkles in my forehead. My nose is turned a weird direction. I have a gap between my teeth. I hate my love handles, whatever it may be. We just need to own who we are and celebrate who we are. It doesn't mean we can't make ourselves a better person in the process, and work on ourselves. But whatever you are right now, is also great. So celebrate that within yourself, and then your confidence will end up. And then if you do see somebody, let's say you see somebody staring at you because you don't have a leg, you're just gonna be like, I don't give a shit. It's my life. They can't make me feel a certain way. Only I can make me feel that way.
Wonderful. And I would imagine people can find this book on Amazon or through your website. What's the best?
Yep, it's on Amazon. If you have a Kindle, it's super cheap. It's like $6. Otherwise, it's like 20 for the hardback version. The version does have places to write and things like that in it because it is a workbook. So but whatever it is, I think I wanted to write a self-help book for people that would never read a self-help book. And that would have been people in their early 20s and stuff, that they're like, I don't need that shit. That's stupid California, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to help myself. The book starts with hello, underachieving shitbag. So you pretty much know immediately what you're getting into as soon as it starts.
Amazing. And I would imagine that you would speak to 90% of the people. They're like, I don't need a self-help book. Maybe those are the people that need it most. So that's wonderful. I think it's a great market that you've niched into, and it's wonderful. And you do it with love, and you do it with comedy, because that is so important. It's making people laugh, and I'm glad that you have that need, because you make the world a much better place. And when did you moved to California, and did you do comedy on the East Coast? Were you doing stand up there, or?
No, so I moved here 13 and a half years ago. I was already I went to school for acting, and I was already in the Screen Actors Guild when I was going to school in Pittsburgh. I did a couple movies out there, like very bit roles in them, but enough that I got my SAG card. So I moved to LA to be an actor, and quickly was bored of the process. I didn't really want to take classes anymore because I'd been doing that for so long. And so I somebody pushed me into stand up, and the first time I did it I realized that was immediately what I'd been looking for. That's the feeling I'd been chasing, and now from then on it was just like guns blazing, pedal to the metal, whatever run of stupid analogies you want to throw at that. It's just like I was ready to go, and I knew stand up was going to be the thing that would like carry me through.
Amazing. That's wonderful. I'm glad you discovered that. And where can we see you currently performing? Are you doing things in person? Are you doing things live
Yeah.
shows? Back to
Oh
live
yeah,
shows?
I'm totally back to being in person. I have shows all over the Los Angeles area all the time, and then I hit the road a lot too. All my tour dates are on my website. Coming up in June, I have Arizona, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Tampa is coming up sometime in the summer, and I'm always adding more dates to that. I was just in Salt Lake City this past weekend, so I'm on the move. I'm constantly going
Wonderful.
places, and I love being on the road. And live performance is my favorite thing. I love making little internet videos and doing stuff like this. But when I'm on stage, there's no better feeling in the world when it well if it's going well. If it's not, then it's horrible and awful, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But when it is going well, yay!
Yay, yay! And I have followed your journey though, and maybe if it's maybe of self improvement, and it's very inspirational. You're slacklining.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this seems like one of those things that is impossible to do, but obviously it is possible because there are people out there that do it, and you've proven that. And I think I first also then you were doing yoga. You were doing a lot of yoga because I myself got into yoga, and it was quite life changing for me. I ended up losing about 65 pounds. I still have
Nice.
I still have a lot more to go, but it really helped, mentally and physically change me. And so when I saw you doing that, I was also very impressed because you don't see as it's like 80% women that do yoga, and even though it was started well, I say that it was started in Venice Beach and then went to India, but but,
That's
we all
accurate.
know in India it was predominantly male, but now it's 80% female. So it's great to see you doing yoga, but then to watch your improvement and I don't know, can you master slacklining? But you
I
know,
think you can. I mean, I think I don't know if you can technically master it, but I will say that like, when I first started doing it, I couldn't stay on the line for more than 2 seconds. And now I've stayed up there for more than 3 hours. And I do have like a flow that I can get into where I do feel like I don't want to say I've mastered it because I can't just do anything I want on there, but I am hitting a state where I am completely relaxed yet fully engaged and focused at the same time. And it helped me in so many ways of just being able to mainly that focus, right? As my brain is all over the place all the time. I'm constantly thinking of like, okay, what do I have to do today? What shows do I have this week? What projects am I in the middle of? How am I going to bring in money right now? Did I feed my dog? Am I paying attention to my wife? Like every single thing is like kind of hitting you. And slacklining just taught me, look, stare at the tree, don't take your eyes away, focus, and just breathe and give in to this thing. And it was a really beautiful when I really started figuring it out because I'm not standing on a slack line anymore. Like I become a part of it. So no matter how it moves, sinks, goes up and down, side to side, I'm just with it. And we're all just one thing kind of moving together. And it's so meditative, and just like I have days when I really go, I need to do it today. Like I feel myself like building something up inside of me, whether it's tension or stress. And then I go and put on my headphones, put on some beautiful music, get outside in the park or the beach, get on that line, and everything just melts off of me within a few minutes.
Wow, amazing. You definitely need to be a spokesperson for slacklining because you want to do it. And I'm like, I don't think I could ever in a million years. But it's crazy to go from 2 seconds and not being barely able to stay on it to up to 3 hours or more. I'm sure if you had the time. I mean,
Yeah, the 3 hour one, that was during the pandemic. I didn't get up there with the intention of doing it, but I will tell you this, that hurt. That was pretty painful by the end of it, just because one, you're so engaged the whole time. So most people, they walk around with their shoulders just like this. When you're slacklining, your shoulders are like this because you're constantly like using your arms to balance. So not only your shoulders and your whole body engaged, but then also you're on a 1 inch piece of webbing. So after a couple hours, my feet just started to hurt just from the weight of being on this very small strip of rope, basically. And I felt like my feet were just bruised. And by the time I finally got off of it, I don't know why I did it 3 hours. I just was like, okay, I'll just do that. I was like, okay, I need to not move for like a day.
wow.
That
wow.
shit, yeah, that shit was painful in the bottom of my feet.
That wow, man! And I'm sure that once you get to an hour or 2 hours, you're like, all right, well, let me go another. Let me see how far
Right.
I can push it. Or did you set out to do it for 3 hours? Or
No, that day I have set out to do it for the first time I ever did 2 hours. I did set out to do that, but the 3 hour one, I was just in a groove and I felt really good. And I had a playlist on that was speaking to me, and I was like, I'm just like, I got nothing. It was the middle of pandemic. There was nothing to do. There was nowhere to go. There was no work for me to do that day. So I was like, what's the best thing I can do for myself? Okay, stay on the slackline for a while.
is that when you bought the Slackline, or how
No,
long?
I've been doing it like 5 years.
5 years. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. Because I've seen that on your social media. Um, how much is a Slackline? I know that I could Google it probably. And
Yeah, like 50 to $100 typically.
okay.
Like for a basic starter one, you can get them for as low as like 40, and then
Mhm.
like they go depending on like what you really, but like somewhere like 40 to $120
Wonderful.
essentially for the full setup. And yeah, it's super. It's you set it up in 5 minutes. It's just like a tension, like a ratchet system. You put the rope in and you ratchet to the tree, tighten it up, and then you get on.
Has anyone ever tripped over somebody else's Slackline because they're not paying attention and they're? Because I know that they're
Yeah,
set
for
up in
sure.
public.
I mean, I had a kid run and just deck himself on mine, like a 4-year-old, while I was on it. And I watched him go right into it. And I was like, no, no, no. And I watched this kid, like, he was like, he's like short. He was probably 4 years old. And he
Sure.
just ran full speed. It hit him here and he just leveled him
Uh,
out. And I was like, I immediately jumped off. His mom ran over. I was like, is he okay? Like, she wasn't angry or anything. I was like, I didn't do anything. I've been standing on this thing for 45 minutes. Your kid just ran into it. Like, so it was, but it's pretty funny to watch that. I'll tell you that much.
sure it was. I'm sure it was. But
Yeah.
it didn't knock you off.
I jumped off because I
Yeah.
was like, I had to make sure he was okay. Like, I can't. If I had just stayed up there and been like, "Sucks to be you, dude," like that's just not in my nature. I had to make sure that he was not hurt. But as soon as, yeah, I mean, as soon as everything was okay, like it was fine.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you also have a few comedy albums that people can pick up. Is it just two, or do you have more than?
I have two full length albums that if you have Pandora, Title, Apple Music, whatever they all are, everywhere right now except Spotify, because Spotify is taking down comedians' albums left and right because there's some kind of disagreement with how we're supposed to be paid. So most comedy albums have been taken off Spotify. I'm hoping they get back on there because that's where most people listen to me. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I have albums out there. Listen to them, buy them if you feel so inclined, because that's how I really survive. But just listen to them. That's all I ask. And if you like, who I am, I think you'll like my comedy. It's very dark, but very silly at the same time.
It is, and that's wonderful though because I know I really enjoy it. So yeah, folks, please, anyone that's listening, at least check it out, hit play. But but why not buy it as well, and then you can stream it at your leisure at home and wherever in your car, wherever you
The
may
way I
be.
see it is this: is I do a lot of things for free. Is I do these daily lollipops, and I had a podcast for a very long time that I gave out for free, and I do a lot of things that I'm happy to give away and entertain. Certain things like live shows and like buying an album. That's how I'm able to do all the free stuff. I can keep giving you free content and on the daily as long as you do like come to a show or buying an album or when I put out a book or something like that, stuff like that. That's what I really want you to focus on. And then, but the daily stuff, I'm happy to just, be a part of your life in any way that I can.
That's you're so sweet. That's wonderful. You also go by, is it Hooper Hair Puff? Is that another?
That's all my social media stuff, Hooper Hair Puff. It came around like when I was first joining Twitter 11 years ago or whatever the heck it was. Alex Hooper was taken and I didn't know what to do. And I was sitting around stoned with some friends and somebody was just like, Hooper Hair Puff. And I was like, okay, I like that.
Perfect.
And it's just become a thing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing yoga then? Is that, and do you still practice?
I mean, I do certain exercises, but I haven't done the last time I did a class was like 6 months ago, and I barely ever go to them anymore. But I do still do the stretches every single morning, and a lot of that. I just have too many other things that I do, like slacklining, tennis, hiking, whatever else it may be. So I don't do yoga nearly as much as I used to, but it's it's because I made a pug yoga calendar. Everybody assumes that like everybody's just like, oh yeah, he does yoga too. I kind of do, kind of don't, but
God,
I think,
no,
but the benefits are there. I'm not. I do love doing it.
of course, yeah, and again, I'm not the kind of guy that I would have in a million years thought like, oh, here I've gotten into yoga, but I even formed a lifestyle brand called Bad Ombre Yoga.
That's great.
I like. Thank you. I like.
I'm all about the puns, man.
Oh, me too. I love puns, and I get a little upset when people say like, "Well, punnery is like the lowest form of comedy." You're like, "So what? It's hilarious."
It is hilarious.
My improv group was Barrio Speedwagon. We were a Latino improv group. We did a show called Touched by an Anglo. Yeah. So that I love that. And when I first started doing yoga, I started in LA. Downtown with a gal named Sherry Ray Russell, and she owns a place called Peace Yoga Gallery. And I haven't been there for a while. My ex-wife and I split up, so I think she got her in the divorce. But there's on the top it's a raw vegan restaurant, and then yoga in their basement. And she said something that was great, which is her goal was to have you have a daily practice that you could do at home, where you don't have to come in to the studio. So this isn't necessarily for you, but for people that are listening that want to get into it, that's the ultimate goal, is to be able to take care of yourself and to do it at home and not have to go to a studio all the time, even though, of course it would cost her money if you don't show up, if you don't go to class. But, it's one of those things where like, it makes sense that we should, if we're going to do yoga, you could be able to do it at home.
Well, yeah, but like take the class to hold yourself accountable for a while. And then once you really get into a groove and a habit, then you can kind of be like, okay, I know what I need to do for myself today. So I don't need to go to the class necessarily. But I do agree with going to those workout classes, because even though it's not something that I personally do, like I can motivate myself very easily to go out and exercise. And my exercises don't require a class for the most part. Every once in a while, like my wife does those classes almost every morning and I'll go with her. And it's just a different environment. When there's other people around, you want to work a little bit harder. You feel really good coming out of there because you're all high-fiving, and there's energy that happens in those rooms. And I think it's important just to whatever you need to do to get yourself flowing and your blood moving, do it, because that's the only way you're gonna have a happy day.
That's wonderful. And I'm glad that your wife has been with you on this journey, like you said, for 15 years or so. So this isn't anything new for her. And was she with you at AGT? Like, was she in the audience or?
Yeah, for the first one she was, and it was just like, it was. I mean, I felt for her because I know, like, she told me her and her sister were there, and she told me they both just grabbed each other's legs and were just like squeezing as hard as they could, like with this, like, oh no, oh no.
It would have been
But
funny if they cut to them and they're also booing you, like,
oh my
you
gosh,
know,
I know. I'm sure they were. She's never admitted it, but I'm pretty sure she was the one that started the booze. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it was just. I mean, yeah, she said it was any normal person's worst nightmare, and I was like, great, because that's how it felt. So yay.
That's no,
She
it's such an amazing.
she's a rock star though. I mean, it's I'm not an easy person to be with, and I'm very emotional, and I so like she really makes my life better in so many ways. She makes all my kimonos that you see me wearing on stage. She is just endlessly supportive of my career and the steps that it takes to really advance in this, because man, it is. Yeah, I mean, the entertainment industry, we are asking a lot from people to, especially not just to give us a chance, but to pay us for a talent that is hard to measure. It's very subjective what we're doing, and she just is always helping me. She's like, okay, what do you need to do today to feel good about yourself? And sometimes, like, she helps me get like, right, oh, you're not doing anything there today, why don't we try to get you some writing work and stuff like that, and things that I wouldn't think about. She comes in and says, this is how we can make you better, and that's exactly what I need.
Well, yeah, perfect. What a great couple, and what a great dynamic. Is she also in the entertainment industry, or?
No, she spent years in casting, but she really just didn't like the corporate lifestyle that came along with it. So now she's a freelance copywriter. She has an agency. So she runs both of us run our own lives, which is a really incredible place to be, where when we decide we're going to do something, we don't have to go to a boss and say, hey, we really need this time off because we're going out on vacation, and the boss is like, not that week, you're not. I've already had 6 people request that. Like, you got to stay here. We don't have that. Whatever we want to do, wherever we want to go, that's what we do. And it's pretty incredible to have a lifestyle where you make the choices of what you're going to do. And it doesn't mean that sometimes I don't have to do work that I don't want to just because I need the money. And that happens every once in a while. But for the most part, it really is up to me what I do day in and day out, which is why at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, I could just be talking to you.
And I thank you. So yes, thank
Well,
you.
I thank you too. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. The nice thing is, though, she was in casting, so she was around the industry, so she understands. I think it's nice to find a partner who at least knows about the industry, because otherwise it could be like, well, what are you doing all day? Why are you talking to Paul at 10 a.m. and then you're working on this or working on that, but you're not working. So it's great to see that you guys are a great fit for each other.
Well, we are a great fit, and a lot of it, so much of being in the entertainment industry is you don't see what happens behind the scenes all day. Like when somebody sees you in a commercial, in a TV role or something like that, they go, "Oh, cool, Paul's on TV." They didn't see the hundreds of auditions you didn't get that you were preparing for, all the emailing that you went back and forth, all the acting classes you took. They didn't see all of these things that went into that one perfect moment when it actually worked out and you got the thing. And that's the hardest part of like figuring out, if you like, now that I am full-time comedian and I don't work any other job, what do I do with myself all day so I can be active but also productive and not just be like, sitting around with my dick in my hand going, what do I do next? And it's really like, that's the hard part of it. And it's the people that figure that out that end up succeeding.
100%. It's that whole plan your work and then work your plan. We are business owners, and I do have a business background. So for me, it was a little bit easier to go, well, now that, I'm no longer selling ice cream cones like I did in my first business, or cigars, or, haircuts. I owned a beauty salon at one point, but now I'm the product, but you got to treat it as such, where it's a business, and you you can't just wait around for it to come in. You have to go out there and every day do something, whether it's more training or improv training or comedy or learning how to do stand up or any of those things, voice training, everything.
Yeah.
So
I look at it like this is I have to do 5 positive things for myself every single day. So like this is considered a positive thing. I'm having a conversation on you that is a public conversation. That's one. I already did some writing this morning. That's two. I'll probably go. I have a show tonight. That's three. I'll meditate. That's four. And I'll probably go slacklining or go on a hike or something like that. That's five. So like as long as I can hit five every day in some capacity, and they can be, it's up to you what those 5 things are, as long as they are good for you. Like, it's hard for me to go, well, I went to the movies. That's a good thing. Okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But did that really do anything for me or like for my physical, mental health, or my career? Probably not. So as long as I'm doing things that are good for me, then I count them. And that includes having sex, spending like things like that, like spending time with a friend. If you go meet a friend for coffee that you haven't seen in a while, that is a positive thing for your mental health. So little things like that can all add up, and if I hit my 5 every day, then I always feel good about it. And some days I get like 7, some days I get like 10. It just depends.
wonderful, but a minimum of 5 you recommend.
Minimum of 5. And this thing, it's not that hard when you really think about what those 5 things could
Sure.
be. It could be helping your child with their math homework. That's personal time that you're getting with your kid, but also that you're helping advance their life. It could be cooking dinner for your family. That could be a thing because you're nourishing people and you're spending time doing a thing. Whatever it needs to be for you, just make it work. But like think about it and it will balance out. Then you can, if you're like, hey, well, now I just want to stay up all night and do drugs one night. Okay, but did you do your 5 things first? Great. Then by all means, give your nose a slide.
I think we both thought the same thing when you're talking drugs, because I don't think thank you guys. I don't think marijuana even counts anymore as a drug.
No, it does not.
So yeah. Do you party? Have you partied? Was that ever a
Look
big
at my
part of
face, dude. Are you kidding me right now? No, like, yeah, no. I when it is time, I party very, very hard. I just make sure that all of my obligations and my work goes first because I'm known for being like a partier, and so I need to make sure that nobody can, like, let's say I didn't turn in an assignment for some reason, like I missed a deadline on a writing gig. Well, it'd be easy for people to go, oh, he was probably high. He was probably out partying. So I need to make sure that I am extra attentive to my actual work so that way when I do party, I can completely let it go. And it is just a purge. That's how I look at like going to music festivals and stuff, is those are my few days to just let it all out, all the energy that I've been building, all the hard work that I have been putting in. Now let's escape, let's fly free, and let's just be in super happy world for the next few days and celebrate the fact that we get to do this.
Amazing, amazing. And you enjoy yourself a festival, do you not? Is
Love
this
them. Love them
what's
so much.
how long have you been doing this? I mean, and do you come to Vegas for like EDC or is it Burning Man or
I've done Burning Man. I've never actually done EDC. Tons of my friends do it, but I go to a ton. Like I've been doing it since like 2011 is when I really started going to festivals, and I do probably anywhere from like 4 to 6 a year. I work for a few of them, like doing comedy stuff, and so there's certain ones I always hit. They're called like Desert Hearts was a couple weeks ago, Dirty Bird, ones like that. But yeah, I mean, I just love the feeling of live music. First of all, is the best. It just invigorates your spirit. It opens you up. It's a shared connectivity with fellow humans. But then also just putting on these hilarious and awesome clothes and costumes and just getting to be whoever you want to be and running around meeting so many incredible people and just having fun nonstop. It's the best thing ever. I really look at them as vacations, but they're also like vacations for my brain and my body. Because like I might put a lot of drugs in my body over the course of a festival weekend, but I'm also running around nonstop, and my brain is on fire from all the wonderful creativity that I'm experiencing from every direction. So I actually come out of a festival weekend maybe a little beat up, like physically, but mentally, I'm like, what is next?
Amazing, amazing. Have you been running around at all? The Netflix is a joke. I think that's going on right now in LA as we
It
speak.
just ended. I
Oh,
went
it
to a
just
couple
ended.
of
Okay.
I went to a couple of their things. I wasn't like a part of that festival, but I also had like I did a music festival while that was going on, and so I went to a couple of the shows just for fun because my friends were on them and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But it was pretty crazy how that takeover that happened in our city, like that Netflix is a joke festival. It was like hundreds of shows, so many venues every night. There was more, more, more. It was cool.
Wonderful. Well, I think it's great
Yeah.
for the community. It's great for the industry. I'm glad, because everything is going back. Everything is live again, and
Yeah.
we still have to be careful. But it's great to see the people getting together and laughing because that's the most important thing. The laughter and all that. So that's
Connectivity. We
yeah.
got to, we got to, we got, we got, we got to share experiences again. We got to stop looking at people as potential enemies and sick people and infected and all that other stuff. And it's not to say don't be careful, obviously, like, but at the same time, at some point, we have to get back to living some sort of normal life. And like, I've been doing that for over a year now. I've been back on the road and back doing stuff. And everyone take your time, but like, at some point, like, get back out there. Good for
Exactly.
you.
Yep, yep. We have to. And do you do a yearly yoga calendar or calendar, I should say, or was this a one time?
No, that was a one-time thing. It was like, it was like we struck lightning in a bottle with Pug Yoga Calendar. We sold out of it. It got on the Ellen show. She featured it, which was just so bizarre and surreal that I literally made a calendar of my pug and I doing yoga together. And next thing I knew, I'm getting phone calls of like, you're on Ellen right now. And I was like, what? Um, it just pour your heart into whatever you want to do. And no matter how stupid it seems, if you put hard work and love into it, you don't know where it's going to go. And people ask me all the time, like, are you going to make another one? I don't know. I don't know because my artist brain, it always moves on to the next thing. Always, So
Wonderful. And man, those are some wise words because I think as people that are heavily influenced and use social media to influence others, so you're always thinking like, what can I do to get views or eyeballs and things like that? But you're right. It comes down to doing what we love. You do it, you put it out there, and it might just go viral. It's not about trying to plan to make it go viral. So that's wonderful advice, Alex.
yeah, just you can't. Other people are going to tell you what they think you should do because it worked for them. But what worked for one person isn't necessarily going to work for the next. So if something's not making you happy, you have no obligation to keep doing it. Follow what gives you joy, and other people will follow along the way. And that's what I've learned time and time again: is just do whatever the hell you want to do, and as long as
Wonderful.
you do it from a place of positivity, then it will work in some capacity.
Wonderful. Now, and if somebody wants to hire you for an event, whether it's corporate or bring you out to their comedy club, do you have a manager or do you have agents or do you do a lot of
I,
your own?
I Comedy stuff is all on me. You go direct hoopercomedy.com. You can email me directly through my website. But I do have like agents and managers for like acting stuff and voiceover, but they don't handle my comedy at all. So the comedy stuff is all on me. And so if you do want to hire me for something like that, and I've done all of that. I've done, obviously comedy clubs, private events, birthday parties, corporate roasts, all that stuff, hosting events for your company parties and things. I've done that kind of stuff. All of that can be handled through my website, hoopercomedy.com.
Hooper comedy? Who does your voiceover? That's amazing.
Whoa, I know, right? Whoa, who knows where we're going with this?
Awesome, awesome. So what's next for Alex Hooper?
That's the hardest question in the world, isn't it? What
Sorry.
is next? Because I literally just put out like a song and a music video with a DJ friend of mine. And so that's kind of floating around the world right now. And now I'm trying to figure out what is my next actual project. Like I can tell you, yeah, I have tour dates coming up and I have some things in the mix, but really it's I don't know what my next major project is. Just I literally just had a couple things come out. I just had a new album, just had the song. So now I'm like, ooh, well, now I'm kind of back at square one. What's next? What is next? And honestly, Paul, I don't know yet.
Okay.
But whatever it is, I guarantee you won't see it coming.
But we'll be a part of it somehow. I
Yeah.
really.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. What's this song? And I think I got the right one. Is it Sasha? Is that
You
is that
did, yeah. No, you picked the right one in the
okay?
promo.
Okay.
Yeah, my friend Sasha Robati, he's a great DJ and music producer, does tons of festivals. I told him about a song idea I had, and he's like, "Great, let's make it." And sure enough, it's been making its way around festivals. It got dropped at Coachella by a DJ, which is such a surreal feeling to me. Like I was in Mexico, and I suddenly got a clip of like my voice like penetrating through Coachella, which was so cool. But yeah, just a song called "I'm Having Fun." And it's about everyone's freak out. Everyone's had a freak out moment when they've been on drugs at a festival or a club or something like that. And it's about us. It's about that moment when you go, oh my God, am I being completely irresponsible right now? Is everything falling apart in my life? Did I take care of all my things? Oh, whatever. Who cares? I'm having a good time anyway. So yeah, I mean, the song's only been out for 2 weeks. The music video's only been out for a week. So I'm very happy with how it went. Just another thing I've never done before. I've never made a song. you
Amazing.
know, I don't know what I'm doing, but luckily my friends do. And so they were like, they just gave me a little bit of direction. And then now we have a song. That's pretty cool.
I haven't seen the video, so I'm gonna have to find it. But
Oh,
I did.
just go to my Instagram.
Yep.
I posted it like a week ago today, I believe it came out like
Okay.
last Wednesday. But yeah, it's 1 minute, total chaotic rainbow explosions. It is, you will feel like you're on drugs for that minute.
It's you. It's you in a vid. It's basically you as a video, I guess. Is that?
Pretty much, yeah. Somebody once told me that I'm human Molly, and I take that to heart. So if I can make you feel energy and love, then great. I've done my job for the day.
Human Molly. That's yeah. How else could we describe Alex Hoover? But human Molly.
What drug would you be, Paul?
What would I be? Human mescal? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pretty
You
good.
know,
I like that. You have a little bit of a smoky flavor to you. You can't be found everywhere, but the people that enjoy you really, truly enjoy you.
that's it, buddy. That is it. That is it. Do you
And you
teach?
also have worms, so that's also some.
I do. I got to get dewormed. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Do you teach roasting? Is it something that can be taught? I mean,
Yeah.
do you have a class? Could somebody pay you to teach them how to roast?
So
Or
I
by
don't have a class that I would do. I do it a lot on Cameo and stuff like that. But you learn, if you've got my self help book, you learn how to do it in that. If you don't want to go through a whole self help book, I totally get that. I have a 9-step guide on my website of how to throw a perfect roast without getting punched in the face. So I teach you like how to set up the actual roast itself, how to celebrate the person, how to write jokes that come from a place of respect and love. And so that is totally free. It's on hoopercomedy.com. It's easy to get. And so if you ever just want to write the jokes or just throw a little roast, you can just do that very easily. And I'm happy to give that information out for free to help you find my other things.
I've downloaded it. I think it's great. So thank you for putting that out into the world and making it free. I think you just give Alex your email, and that's it's free. So
Right. And I when you sign up for my email list, I email you like once every 3 to 4 months, just saying, hey, here's my tour dates. Here's some things I put out over the time. You are not getting a daily email that you're going to be like, God, not this guy again. You're only going to get something every 3 to 4 months. And so it's not egregious by any means. It's not intrusive.
I love it. It's you really have to go to Instagram if you want Alex in your life every day, which I think a lot of us do, because that daily lollipop is always entertaining, whether it's you or one of your special guests. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing with the world as
I
well.
mean, we're almost 200 of today was number 197, which seems crazy that I've done that many of them. And honestly, I don't know when I'm going to stop. I don't know how to stop. I ended my vows at my wedding with, and that's your daily lollipop. Like something is wrong with me, Paul.
You know what? Nothing's wrong with you. It's one of those things where a little thing happens and then you just jump on it and it just becomes your thing. And that's the way our comedic brain works. I think, you take something and you run with it. I mean, I'm an improviser. I do sketch and improv, and that's what we kind of learned. You make this what is it? A mountain out of a molehill. You
Yeah.
deify it, and it becomes the most important thing. So yeah, thank you. Do you have any final last words, or would you any final thoughts? I think I should say, and
Yeah.
anything if you want to promote, by all means, please do.
I mean,
Because I
just,
could keep going forever. So you tell me.
no, for sure. Like, I mean, honestly, go to my Instagram, go to my website and stuff like that. But if I am coming to your city, please come see me live. That's by far the best experience you can have with me is go, come to a show, talk to me afterwards. Let me know, especially if you came from like how I love finding out how people heard about me or where they saw me and things like that, just because I've done so many things at this point that like I have a collection of people all over the world, basically, that I consider my friends. And you're invited to be a part of that too, obviously, Paul, and anyone else who's watching, listening to this. But all I can say is just follow. It's going to sound so cheesy, but just like do whatever the hell you want to do. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you have one life. Do whatever it is that is in there. Take chances, follow your dreams, like all that. And if it doesn't work out, just do a bunch of heroin in a crack house somewhere until you keel over and die, because that's the other option. So, thank you, studio audience. I knew you would enjoy that one. Hey, yo.
Everybody, let's give Alex a round of applause so that the algorithm works here, so that so that people know that. Thank you.
And thank you, everyone who's been here. There've been a bunch of people that have been in this chat the entire time. So, Goody, Axel, Patrick, Victoria, Waitbot, whoever. Well, Waitbot, yeah. All those people. Thanks for being here this whole time.
Yeah, thank you. Because it is early, or it's the middle of the day for some people, and they're actually at work. So for those of you that joined us, thank you. But Alex, just so you know, this show lives here on the platform, so people can come. We get a lot of replays. People will come back and watch it. And Fireside was nice enough to include us in their weekly. Twice, I think they included us in their weekly newsletter to
Awesome.
The other creators and things like that. So they became a little bit more familiar with you. And it's a great platform. If you want to get back into podcasting, just let me know. If you apply to be a content creator here, it's somewhat of a velvet rope where you have to apply and then be accepted. But it wouldn't take long, and I'm sure they would accept you right away. Cool. But it's such a great way to record, especially now video podcasts. It's kind of set up that way. Mark Cuban is one of the investors, so it's pretty strong as far as it brought me back into podcasting, and I love it, and I get to meet wonderful and incredible people like you and chat with you and get motivated and get inspired and all that. Any plans of coming to Vegas?
I'm working on that right now. A bunch of people have requested me there, so I'm trying to. Breaking into the Vegas clubs is very difficult. They're very insular in the way that they work. They use the same people again and again. But I'm working on breaking into Vegas because I love playing out there, and I love being out there. So it'll happen for sure.
Well, if I can help in any way, I'm friends with Joaquin, who owns the LA Comedy Club, even though it's in Vegas at the Stratosphere.
Yeah, I know that club. Yeah.
And they've just remodeled. In February, so now they have like this multi-million-dollar room that they built in the casino as opposed to in the mall where the Stratosphere is. And I just had Butch Bradley on, who's the headliner there. But if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to at least make a connection.
Yeah, that'd be great because I've been trying to get in that club for years. I email the booker all the time, and hey, nothing personal. He doesn't email me back. That's okay. Who am I? But yeah, any introduction would definitely be great.
I will put them on your radar. Do you email? I'm guessing maybe Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the booker.
You know it.
I know it. But I'll speak with Joaquin and Matt No promises, of course, but we'll see. We'll see. As your comedy manager, I'll be more than happy to get you into Vegas.
Perfect. I'll give you that 10%.
You got it. You got it. I'll give you that 10%. I'm going to keep 90. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'll take it. That's fine.
Fair
That's
enough.
fine.
I'm
not confrontational in that respect.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, 50. That's fine. Alex, thank you so much for taking. Oh, it's 11:11. I don't know if people. I just noticed that it's 11:11.
Oh yeah, bam! Make a wish, everybody.
Make a wish. Yes, mine came true. Alex came on my show, so thank you.
Oh, mine came true too, because I finally got to meet one of my Twitter heroes. So there you go, Paul Vato.
Thank you,
Twitter friends, now real life friends.
Now we're real life friends. Yes. So, Alex and everyone that was here, thank you so much again for taking the time to be here, and I hope we can do this again. If anytime you want to promote something, I'd love to have you on. But or if you just want to come on and chat, whatever, an hour, 2 hours. We could Joe Rogan it, go 4 hours, whatever.
Damn, yeah, right.
So you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to invite the Waitbot up. And again, folks, thank you so much for being here. And for those of you that re-listen to it or are listening to it on the simulcast on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, thank you guys. And it will be up as a podcast next week. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
That's the Waitbot.
Oh, okay. So, am I good to exit out of here?
Yeah, I like to let the Waitbot do its thing. But yeah, you can exit out at any time. Please, everyone, follow Alex Hooper at hoopercomedy.com.